Hey, this is Marks Washington, MTC Media, wrapping up USA's win over Germany, 92 to 88, and looking at how this game played out. First, the good things. LeBron James is just ageless. The way he took over that game at the end, they sought him out on offense. They wanted LeBron. I mean, even Steph gave up the ball down the end. They wanted LeBron to close this out, and LeBron did, but it wasn't only on the offensive end. He grabbed three critical rebounds down the stretch for the Americans to be able to seal this game in the fourth quarter. It was vintage young LeBron James as an older man in play. But there are concerns also. One's the offensive rebounds. I don't want to beat up on Joel Embiid. If you follow me, I've spoken about Embiid in an international setting before. My concerns about that, and today was the same. There was a couple of early turnovers where players drew two, expected Embiid to cut, and then he kind of like faded and stood there, and they turned into the turnovers because he's not moving. This game is a little bit different. He has to get to the front of the rim. He has to have some gumption about himself. Same thing on the boards. The United States struggled giving up offensive rebounds to Germany. Part of that, again, is Embiid. There's going to be longer rebounds. There's going to be more crashing than it is in the NBA. It was why Mo Wagner was so impactful and so impressive in this game, because he's hustle guy. So he's after these 50-50 balls. And if you lag on the offensive boards, or you lag for a loose ball, I mean, Mo's going to be there. Being stagnant offensively at times. The United States gets stagnant on offense. I understand in NBA you can get away with that somewhat because how the game is played, and frankly because of the illegal defense rules in the NBA, especially with defensive 3 seconds, which is not present here, which allows teams to kind of clog the lane up a bit, especially if you have length and strength inside. And you saw some of that again when that second unit got there, and Jason Tatum, those guys at times try to go one-on-one too much. Speaking of Jason Tatum, he was abysmal on the defensive end today. Borderline unplayable because his defense was so bad. Tatum certainly needs to make the adjustment on this team and what his role is on this team, and the effort's got to be there, and the attention to detail has to be there on the defensive end more than the offensive end. The United States have plenty of that. And speaking of that, one of the things I do like for the second unit is Adebayo and Anthony Davis together. Even though Davis got into foul trouble today, they give energy on the boards to the U.S. I wish there was a way to start Adebayo on this team. I understand why they start Embiid, because you don't want Embiid running with that second unit. You want him more around the first unit. But when they start mixing and matching, I love having Anthony Davis out there with that LeBron Curry group, or Adebayo with that LeBron Curry group, because they can provide so much, especially Anthony Davis defensively being the rim protector, and Adebayo who can somewhat stretch and really is a hustle guy on the board. So I think we'll see more of that mixing and matching. The two guys who didn't play today, Kevin Durant, I guess he gave it a go beforehand. They decided not to play him, and Tyrese Halliburton, I don't think logged any minutes either. One of the things that jumped out at me was Steve Kerr going down the stretch, putting Anthony Edwards on Dennis Schroeder. Thought that was a great move. This is where Edwards can help this particular team, which is not going to ask him to do as much offensively as the FIBA World Cup team did, and use him as a defensive stopper on a team that needed one at the time being. And usually I know it will be Drew Holiday, but frankly, Drew Holiday had his moments for not playing well. And kudos for Steve Kerr for not just saying, well, we're going to go with Holiday because that's kind of the quote unquote right thing to do on paper. He went with how the game was flowing, challenged Anthony Edwards to go out there and guard Dennis Schroeder, and he did a great job down the stretch as Germany started having less open shots. And I thought that Germany made a mistake with about 3 minutes left. I would have kept Mo Wagner out there, or I would have subbed him back in. At the time being, it was only a 2-possession game. I know they wanted all their shooters out there to spread the U.S. defense, but it was plenty of time left. And Mo Wagner giving this team second shots and opportunities and toughness on the boards on the other end. felt like they missed it as LeBron James just, you know, gets the layup, hits the three, gets another layup, with very, very little struggle. But as I've said throughout this whole thing, because I do watch a lot of FIBA and a lot of international basketball, the mainstream media trying to make this seem like this is supposed to be a rout throughout. They just don't know what they're talking about. You know, this is not 1992. And though the South Sudan game might have been closer than everyone anticipated, and that was a shock. The other games in this, to me, has been a shock. This is what the United States has to look forward to as they go to the Olympics. This is Marcus Washington, MTC Media.